Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Ed Woodward will have a lot to explain if he decides to sack Ole Gunnar Solsjaer. Now don't forget, this week Ed Woodward said Manchester United remain absolutely committed to Ole Gunnar Solsjaer as the club's manager. Now, Ole Solsjaer is under pressure at Manchester United, reflecting on our poor start to the season. We are sitting 14th in the Premier League. We have only registered 10 points from our opening 7 games in the league. We have not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season, and it's been our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. Now, I think the main explanation why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he is a club legend. Disregarding being a club legend, I don't think he would have been at the football club by now. You know, our board are actually softening their stance on him. But I don't think Ole Solskjaer's been backed enough as Manchester United manager, like I've said time and time again. You know, he wasn't backed enough during that summer transfer window because we missed out on all of his priority targets and we missed out on a lot of targets in general. But none of our managers have been backed enough since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and this is probably why our recruitment policy has been so poor. We've been demanding the board out for several years, haven't we? This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season at Manchester United. I said if Manchester United can finish in the top 4 this season and if we can win a trophy, I think that would represent a good season for Man United. I definitely want us to win a trophy because we've not yet won a trophy under Ole and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. Now, if we can win our next 5 or 6 games after this international break, then I think a lot more pressure will ease off Ole. And we've got West Brom after the international break, so that's a game Manchester United should be winning. Now, it's been up and down this season with Man United. Like I've said on my recent videos, you know, we've had some good results and we've also had bad results. You know, the good results came against PSG and RB Leipzig. Good result against Everton recently. Solskjaer, don't forget, was unhappy with the scheduling of that game because we'd just played in Turkey and he says we were set up to fail. But the bad results Man United have had, you know, we lost to Palace on the opening day of the season by 3-1. We also lost to Tottenham 6-1. First time we lost 6-1 at Old Trafford since 2011. That's when City beat us 6-1. We also lost to Arsenal the other week. That was Arsenal's first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006. And we lost to Istanbul Başakşehir in the Champions League group stage. And that was an absolute embarrassment. Now, Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager for almost 2 years. So he's been here for quite a while now. You know, he has got a contract with the football club until 2022 as Ole Solskjaer. Now, if we did decide to sack him, it would cost the club around £4 or £5 million. That's totally contrast to the 18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Ole has managed over 100 games as Manchester United manager and he's won 57 games as Manchester United manager, I think. Hasn't he? Now, I've already gone through with you the things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should do at Manchester United. Now, I think he needs to select his right formation. Solskjaer's tried a few different formations since he became Manchester United manager, but he has gone a lot with that 4-2-3-1 formation since he got recommended in, and I don't think that formation in a lot of our games has seemed to suit our standards. A few times he's gone with the 4-3-3. In like the big games, he's gone with the 3-5-2 formation. Ollie's also got to identify his best players. That's another thing he's got to do. He's also got to start Donny van der Beek. I think he needs to start Edison Cavani and drop Anthony Martial. Ollie also needs to keep Pogba dropped because Pogba's been inconsistent. There's a lot of Man United fans that are saying we need to start McTominay ahead of Paul Pogba. You know what I mean? But yeah, we appointed Ollie in December 2018. And he's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. I think Ollie's in a position that I shouldn't be really in because I think the club made a mistake giving him the job permanently. But we give him the job permanently because he did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Didn't he? There has obviously been a lot of narratives of Mauricio Pochettino coming in to replace Solskjaer. He has been the favourite. Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to replace Solskjaer after Jose Mourinho got sacked, but obviously we decided to go with Ollie instead of bringing Pochettino in. I don't think we'll get Pochettino now because he will not wait. Pochettino made it clear on Monday Night Football the other week that he's missing football and he's ready for a return to management. And he did recently say that he was watching Manchester United, Man City and Chelsea. Marca said not so long ago that Mauricio Pochettino was Atletico Bilbao's top target because it said Atletico Bilbao are close to sacking their manager, reflects on their poor start to the season. There's been a few clubs in for him. Pochettino has been managerless now for like a year. But the Manchester Evening News said a few weeks ago that we approached Mauricio Pochettino over becoming the club's new manager. But you had Rio Ferdinand coming out after that, saying that Man United have had no conversations with Pochettino over replacing Ollie. And he said that he was frustrated with the disrespect that's been shown to Ollie. It wouldn't really solve a lot if we sacked Ollie Solskjaer because obviously not all of the blame stems from him. I think we need quite a few changes at the club. I think we do need a new manager. I think we do need a new board. We also need more signings. There's obviously more players at the club we've got to get rid of as well. You know what I mean? I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is good enough as a manager because, like I've said time and time again before, he hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Now, before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before Molde, he was at Cardiff. Ollie enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated, didn't he? But reflecting on how long he's been at Man United, he has gained managerial experience. Don't forget, Ole is inheriting a lot of players from the Jose Mourinho era. There's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, still one player here from the Moyes era, and there's only a couple of players here now. There's only a couple of players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era, isn't there? So yeah, there's a lot of Man United fans saying that Solskjaer needs to be sacked, and maybe there'll be some Man United fans on the other side of things saying that, he does deserve more time at the club. I can't see him remaining Manchester United manager until the end of this season. He could still be Manchester United manager though at Christmas. Massimiliano Allegri, there was talks about him becoming Man United's new manager to replace Ole the other week. We was actually seeing him as an alternative to Pochettino. Also, Julian Nagelsmann, he's been another manager on our agenda, and he's another alternative to Mauricio Pochettino, isn't there? Manchester United are not known as a sacking football club, like I've said before. despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left. We sacked David Moyes after 9 months. Or was it 8.5 months? Obviously, we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Moyes should have never been Man United manager, should he? That was the only mistake Sir Alex Ferguson ever made, was recommending Moyes into the club. But the main explanation he did it at the time is because they got on, and obviously they are both Scottish. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. I think we did okay in our first season with Louis van Gaal, but then obviously, it went all downhill. And then obviously Mourinho got sacked after 2.5 years. Did alright in his first season because he won the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. But I think we brought Mourinho in too late. In reality, we should have brought Mourinho in when Ferguson, left. You know what I mean? But Ole Solsjaer, there's positives to take from his tenure. Not all negativity regarding him. Solskjaer has spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. And he's brought around 10 senior players now into the club. He's also brought quite a few academy players in. We've also seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. We've seen the likes of Lukaku and Ander Herrera leave. I think they are 2 players Manchester United should have kept. We also have let the likes of Darmian leave, let Smalling leave on deadline day in the summer transfer window, let Young go back in January. We let Valencia go in the summer of 2019. We also let Fellaini go in January 2019. We also let Alexis Sanchez go. We did definitely make the right decision by getting rid of Sanchez, because I said his wages were having a really, really bad effect on the football club. We let Angel Gomez also leave the club. And we've also loaned a few players out, haven't we? We loaned Tahith Tron out to Werder Bremen. We loaned Dylan Levitt out. We loaned James Garner out. I think we loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season, didn't we? We loaned Diego Dalot out to AC Milan. We also loaned Andres Pereira out to Lazio. So he has got rid of, some of the deadwood as Ole. And Ole has showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games, which is good to see. Our record against the top 6 sides has been pretty impressive since he came in. And at the first part of last season, don't forget, we endured our worst start to a Premier League season. Was it for 30 years, something like that? And I said to you recently, didn't I, Ole's been in the same position as what he was in at the first part of last season. But we bounced back from the first part of last season, because last season we got to the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final and the Carabao Cup semi-final. We also got qualification for the Champions League, and we also finished 3rd. So Ole did well in his first full season at the club, you've got to say. I think Man United are around 4 or 5 signings off from winning the Premier League title. Now, I don't see us winning the Premier League under Ole. I want us to obviously win the Premier League again, and I think we will at some point. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for 8 years. But like I said, I think we could win a trophy this season. We could win the Carabao Cup, win in the quarterfinals of that. We could possibly win the FA Cup. I don't think we'll win the Premier League, and I don't see us winning the Champions League, but I think we are going to get to the knockout stages of the Champions League, definitely. But it's good that we are making plans for next year, isn't it? Obviously, there's quite a few players now on our agenda who I think we are going to go in for next year. Now, David Carmo, he's one player on our agenda. He currently plays for Braga, broke into Braga's first team in January, and since then he's played 23 games. He's got a contract with Braga until 2025. I don't think he's played in Braga's last 2 games because he's been suspended. He is only the age of 21 and he is a centre-half. This was stemmed from ESPN a couple of days ago, like I updated you, saying that Man United are interested in David Carmo. Obviously, Solsjaer does want a left-sided centre-half. Now, Dan Axel Zagadou, he's another player on our agenda. He's also another centre-half and he can also play as a left-back. Now, he currently plays for Borussia Dortmund. Like I said to you recently, he's been at Dortmund now for a good 3 years or so. He's played 60 games for Borussia Dortmund in all competitions and he has got a contract with them till 2022. You know, Borussia Dortmund got him on a free transfer from PSG back in 2017. Dan Axel Zagadou hasn't featured this season yet for Dortmund because he's been out with a knee injury. So do you think he'd go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line? Now, Dayot Upamecano, he's another player on our agenda. I think we're going to go in for him next year. He's now Liverpool's top target, is Dayot Upamecano, because Liverpool have obviously got Virgil van Dijk injured for the season. They've got Joe Gomez out now, I think, for the season. And Andrew Robertson is now out with injury for Liverpool. So they desperately need a centre-half, don't they? So the only centre-half they've got available now is Joe Matip, Liverpool. Dayot Upamecano is going to be available for £40 million at the end of the season because that's when his release clause becomes active. Now, we're also interested in Jack Grealish. Don't forget, we inquired about getting Jack Grealish during the summer transfer window, but Villa obviously wanted £80 million. Jack Grealish, don't forget, signed a 5-year contract with Aston Villa. You know, if we had to sell Pogba, then there'd be a place in our team for Jack Grealish, wouldn't there? Jadon Sancho, I expect us to go back in for him next year. Jadon Sancho hasn't been great with Dortmund this season so far. Ousmane Dembele, you know, he's been another player on our agenda. Erling Haaland, he's been another player on our agenda. But I think, you know, Manchester United need a centre-half. And we also need a right winger. They are the 2 key areas where Man United do need to strengthen up. Like I said, next year, we'll get rid of quite a few players. I can see us getting rid of Lingard, Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones. I can also see us selling Matic because Matic has lost his place in the team. I can also see us selling Juan Mata. A lot of United fans are expecting Paul Pogba to leave the football club. I'm expecting Daniel James to leave because Daniel James is out of form. He doesn't get in the team lot now anyway. And Brandon Williams could be loaned out because obviously Brandon Williams is now our 3rd choice left back, isn't he? Following the arrival of Alex Telles. You know. But there is still deadwood at the football club, isn't there? Now, you saw my recent video that I did. It was earlier on today. I give you the news, didn't I, on Mason Greenwood. I also give you the news on Alex Telles. And I give you the news on the director of football. So, yeah, Manchester United fear that Mason Greenwood could throw away his career just like Ravel Morrison. And Eddie Boothroyd recently confirmed why Mason Greenwood was not in England's under-21 squad, and that was due to injuries and personal issues. Earlier on the season, Mason Greenwood was withdrawn from the England squad with Phil Foden, I think for breaking COVID-19 rules. I think we've said that we don't think Mason Greenwood's getting enough sleep. Bruno Fernandes was infuriated with him the other week, reflecting on his poor training session. Solsjaer said he's had a few niggles and that. Solsjaer said he was ill not so long ago. That's why he didn't play any part in the Everton game. So we're having a lot of issues with him at the moment. You know, Alex Telles, he's been tested positive for COVID-19 again. That was stemming from Globo Esport, and they said he was tested positive yesterday. So if that is the case, then he won't be able to travel to Uruguay with Brazil, and he will be unavailable for our game against West Brom next Saturday, won't he, Alex Telles? Alex Telles has only played one game for the club at the moment, and that was the 2-1 win against PSG. You know, he's already had coronavirus once, as Alex Telles, don't forget, but I think he's going to be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. And yeah, the director of football, Edwin van der Sar and Mark Overmars have said that they are ready for a new challenge. Obviously, Mark Overmars is the sporting director at Ajax, and Edwin van der Sar is the chief executive. So, would you take them at Manchester United? But I've already said I think we need a director of football. And if we are to get one in, we need someone who knows the traditions of the club, and we need someone who's got that experience. And, you know, Edwin van der Sar knows the club, and he's obviously got that experience as well. But we've been in the process of trying to get a director of football in for like the last 3 years or so. And Solsjaer would get more backing as well if we got a director of football into the club. We have got a few injuries, like I've already confirmed. Luke Shaw's out with a hamstring injury, so he's out for up to a month. Eric Bay's out with a muscle injury. I think he's out for a few weeks. That's my element of concern about Eric Bay. He's far too injury prone. We've also got Lingard still out, but he's close to returning. Lingard doesn't get in the team now regularly anyway. Marcus Rashford, he's had a problem with his shoulder. He said Lindelof was injured recently, but I think he's okay now. So I think for the game against West Brom, Brandon Williams should be starting at left back then, because if, you know, Telles can't play, then it'll have to be Williams, because obviously Luke Shaw's out with a hamstring injury, isn't he? But I've got to say, there's a few players at Manchester United that have really, really impressed me this season. You know, Marcus Rashford, he's really, really impressed me. Marcus Rashford is probably one of our best players. You know, Marcus Rashford did score. He did get an assist, in our 3-1 win against Everton. And he was unlucky not to get his name on the score sheet. Rashford also scored a hat-trick in our 5-0 win against RB Leipzig. You know, he became the second Man United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. He's also scored later on in Paris, and he scored a few goals in the league this season. He's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace and that. But Rashford has been part of the club for several years. You know, I think Rashford looks more effective out wide than he does centrally. Bruno Fernandes now, I've been really, really impressed with him recently. Bruno Fernandes is our best player. You know, Bruno Fernandes did score 2 goals against Everton, and he also got an assist. In the vast majority of Bruno Fernandes' games, he's been very, very consistent. There's only been the odd couple of games where he's looked off the pace and all of that. Bruno Fernandes' worst game in the Man United shirt was the Istanbul Besiktas game, because he was dispossessed 34 times, wasn't there? But yeah, Fernandes has endured around 9 months at the football club. You know, we paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January. Didn't we? But he's definitely made the difference in the team. Now, I've also been impressed with Donny van der Beek, the games he's played in, but he's hardly played for Manchester United since he came in. He started our last 2 games in the Champions League, but Donny van der Beek has not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club. Donny van der Beek recently revealed that Ole Gunnar Solsjaer told him to be patient, and he said he'll have to wait for his opportunities. Donny van der Beek made a confession over his playing time, saying that he would have loved to have played a lot more this season. We need to start him, like I've said so many times recently on my videos. We paid £40 million for him from Ajax. He signed a 5-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year. He can play in 3 different roles, but at Ajax he was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. You can put Donny van der Beek in number 10 as well, because we started in there against Leipzig, and you can also put him out wide. Can't you? Now, Fred, he's recently really, really impressed me. I like the way he's dictated the play. He's kept the ball really, really well. And he showed some very, very good attacking intent as Fred. He was good against Everton. He didn't play against Besiktas. Against Arsenal the other week, he was poor because he lost the ball far too many times. But in a lot of his games this season, he's been very, very good. He's had few bad periods though as well as a Manchester United player. We paid quite a bit of money for him though, £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred's got a contract with the club until 2023. Got to say as well, Harry Maguire, he's recently impressed me. He's really rejuvenated himself. He didn't have the best of starts this season. He did have early season troubles, did Harry Maguire, didn't he? Because he had that incident in Greece, was it before the start of the season? He had them few knocks. He got sent off in one of England's games. But it hasn't let it affect him, which is good. Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. And he's the second most expensive signing at the club. Wan-Bissaka, he's also recently impressed me. We've seen some good attacking intent from him. And Wan-Bissaka's defensive contribution's been good. There has been some games where he hasn't been that consistent. Don't forget though, Bissaka scored his first goal for Manchester United in our 4-1 win against Newcastle. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. De Gea, he's also rejuvenated himself. He's made some good saves in some games this season, but there's been a few games as well where he hasn't really had much to do. I said to you, didn't I, David De Gea will remain our number 1 this season. He's been our number 1 for several years, and this season's David De Gea's 10th season at the football club. Isn't it? Isn't it? Luke Shaw's impressed me in the last couple of games because he's got 2 assists in his last 2 games. But like I said, he's now out with a hamstring injury, which is a shame. That's my only element of concern about Luke Shaw. He's far too injury prone. Edinson Cavani's impressed me recently as well. He impressed when he came on against Everton. Obviously, he scored his first goal for Manchester United against Everton. And he almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea. Cavani's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club. I'm hoping he can make his full Premier League debut next Saturday against West Brom. There's also players at Manchester United that have been pretty poor and have disappointed me. Pogba, he's been very, very disappointing. Didier Deschamps, the France manager, has been talking a lot about Paul Pogba recently, saying that he's been mentally impacted with his struggles at Man United, and he said that he cannot be happy at Man United for being left on the bench and for playing out of position And that, you know, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga at the football club, hasn't they? And Carlton Palmer's been talking about it, and he's predicting Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United, isn't he? Like I said, we've had a few issues with Greenwood, so that's disappointed me. Daniel James has been disappointing as well. McTominay, I think he's been disappointed, but there again, you know, he has had some good games. Anthony Martial, he's also another player that's disappointed me this season. Don't forget that Anthony Martial did have a 3-match suspension in the league because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, didn't he? But he's served now his 3-match suspension in the league, Martial. Yeah, we need to drop Martial, like I've said, and start Edison Cavani ahead of him. But Martial was good last season under Ollie, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at the football club. And, yeah. Lindelof, he's disappointed me as well in quite a lot of games. He's had some good games this season, though, but he's nowhere near on Harry Maguire's level, is he? Yeah. I give you the news on Facundo Pellistri yesterday. Solsjaer is facing a dilemma with Facundo Pellistri. Ollie promised him first team opportunities when he signed for the club, and Ollie has obviously broke his promise because he's not yet played in our senior squad. I think Ollie says that he needs to spend more time in the reserves before he can make his debut for the senior squad. He made his debut for the under-23s last month when we played Everton and were beaten them by 2-1. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.